Hi, this is Doug.
And I'm Cindy.
Welcome to Help Me Help Mama 5Cast. Thanks for joining in today. This is a program where we answer your caregiver questions. And today we've got one from our Facebook Family Caregiver Virtual Support Group. That's a mouthful.
Yes, it is.
But if you haven't joined that yet, you may want to check it out. Just click on the link below. This is a group where you can submit a question day or night, and there'll be some family caregiver somewhere that's walked in your shoes, and it can give you a tip, an attaboy, attagirl, thumbs up, keep up the good work, and provide some good assistance. So today the question, we won't say her name, but mom has dementia, dad has heart issues. How often do we see this? One has the mind, one has the body.
And they're leaning
against, leaning against each other. Something happens to one of them, sometimes something happens to both of them right away. Well, the kids had talked to dad and tried to get him to do some sort of planning, and he basically said no. And they had talked to him, I guess, several times, and it didn't work. And then the worst happened. He had a heart attack. Fortunately, he lived. Now they're all back home except mom. Mom declined to the point where she had to go to a skilled care facility. So they're back home now.
So mom's in a nursing home, dad's at home.
So there's several things we need to talk about here right quick. What about the situation with mom, and what about the situation with dad? Mom's in a nursing home. Is she private pay? That's one thing. If she is paying out of pocket, they need to see an elder law attorney as soon as possible to protect as much as possible for the benefit of dad, because a lot of times we see people spend down all of their money, and sometimes some of it could have been preserved.
And if dad's had a heart attack and he's living at home, he's likely going to need some sort of care, assistance, or supervision. And
he may need non-medical care coming in if he will allow it. Sometimes, sounds like in the past, he's, independent and wants to take care of his own affairs. And so he may or may not allow it. But, sound like they've had a shot over the bow. This is a wake-up call, so he may allow things now that he wouldn't have allowed previously. And he may see now, sometimes realistically, hey, I'm not 10 foot tall and bulletproof, and if something happened to me, who's gonna make sure my wife gets the best care that she needs? So he knows probably at this point in time he needs to do more to take care of himself. So whether that's allowing family come in, non-medical care, he may need other type of care himself. All right, what about the kids? They're probably stressed out, burnt out. They've been trying to take care of mom and dad and been running into some resistance. Sounds like they've been doing a pretty good job.
Mm-hmm. But go in and do an assessment of dad and see what he can still do. See if he needs some help with some things since he had the heart attack. I know after mom had her heart attack, she did some physical therapy, and we did exercises with her to help her regain some of the strength. She did begin using a walker after that, and oxygen. She came home with oxygen from the hospital.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So do an assessment, see what dad can do and what he can't do, and where you need to provide some care, assistance, or supervision. Decide who's going to do that. Is it going to be the kids? Are you going to use some of the money that you would have spent on mom's care, now use it on paying for dad's care at home with in-home non-medical care?
And it sounds like dad's cognitively okay, so if he can do any type of planning that he hasn't done and is now willing to do, like a power of attorney or health care documents or any asset protection or estate planning documents, he just needs to see his attorney and not take time for granted anymore. Do it as quickly as possible. And probably this has been quite a wake-up call for the kids too, and I would imagine that every one of them would get their planning in order too. Thanks for watching. We'll hope you have a great day.
And thank you for being a caregiver for your loved one. You're making a huge difference in their life.
So if you like this video, give us a thumbs up, and if you want to see more videos like this, click on the subscribe button to subscribe to this channel, and click on that little notification bell to be notified the next time we do a video.
And if you want to interact with us, check out the description below and leave us a comment and let us know what legal or caregiver topics you'd like to hear about.